Okay, so let's talk about fruit. You've probably heard this one before, right? Someone tells you with absolute certainty you should only eat fruit on an empty stomach. And then maybe an hour later, someone else says, oh no, that's a terrible idea. It's one of those health debates that just never seems to go away. So we're going to get into it and see what's really going on.
So, this is the big question. Is grabbing that banana or handful of berries first thing in the morning a true health hack? Something that's going to give you an edge? Or is it maybe just health hype, a little bit of wellness noise that sounds good but doesn't really matter? Let's break down both sides of this. All right, first up, let's look at the pro side of the argument, the case for eating fruit all by itself. The folks who are big fans of this believe that timing is absolutely key, and that giving fruit its own stage before a bigger meal comes along can actually unlock some really unique benefits. So here are the three big arguments you always hear. First, improved digestion. The whole idea is that fruit digests super quickly. So if it's in your stomach all by itself, your body can just process it, boom, super efficiently. Second, you get higher nutrient absorption. Without other foods in the way, your body can just soak up all those fantastic vitamins and minerals. And finally, it might even help with weight loss, simply because it makes you feel a little fuller before your main meal, so you might naturally eat less. Let's drill down on that digestion point for a second. Fruits are just packed with these things called natural enzymes. You can think of them as these tiny little helpers that really kickstart the whole digestive process. So when you eat fruit on an empty stomach, these enzymes can get to work immediately, breaking down the fruit and kind of getting your system warmed up for whatever's coming next. Okay, that all sounds pretty great, doesn't it? A slam dunk, right? Well, as with pretty much everything in nutrition, it's just not that simple. It's definitely not a perfect solution for every single person. And now, let's flip the coin. We need to look at the other side of the story, the potential pitfalls. Because for some people, eating fruit on an empty stomach can actually cause a few problems that you definitely want to be aware of. And this visual right here illustrates one of the biggest concerns: blood sugar. See, fruit has natural sugars, right? Fructose, glucose. When you eat that fruit with a meal that has protein, fiber, and fat, all those other things slow down how fast that sugar hits your system. But when it's on an empty stomach, that sugar can hit your bloodstream like a rocket, causing a spike. Now, for most of us, that's temporary. No big deal. But if you're someone managing diabetes or any kind of blood sugar issue, that's a really important thing to consider. And it's not just about blood sugar. There are a few other things to keep in mind. For some people, especially anyone who deals with acid reflux, the natural acidity in fruit can cause some real discomfort on an empty stomach. And then there's the simple fact that fruit can be filling. You might eat that apple and then suddenly not be hungry for the actual nutrient-packed lunch you had planned. Oh, and a weird little side effect, that intense sweetness can sometimes make your main course taste a little off. Okay, so we've heard the good, we've heard the bad. Where does that leave us? What's the actual verdict here? Let's try to bring it all together and figure out what the real takeaway is. Really, what it comes down to is this core trade-off. On one side, you've got those potential benefits: easier digestion, maybe better nutrient absorption. That's a strong case. But on the other side, you've got the drawbacks, that potential blood sugar spike, and the chance of some stomach discomfort. There's just no single answer that's going to be right for everybody. And this, honestly, might be the most important piece of advice in this whole explainer. Your body is totally unique. If you have a health condition like diabetes, or you struggle with digestive issues, or hey, if you're just not sure what to do, the absolute best thing you can do is just talk to a doctor or a registered dietitian. They're the ones who can give you advice that's actually tailored to you. So in the end, this is really what it all boils down to. Instead of trying to find one universal best way to eat fruit, the real goal is to just listen to your own body. How do you feel when you eat fruit on an empty stomach? Do you feel fantastic and energized? Great. Or does it make you feel kind of crummy? Well, there's your answer. The best advice is always going to be the one that works for your own health and your own body.